Um, okay, I'll start us off, right?
Yep,
Welcome to the Vets Unleashed.
we are back, gathering animal professionals and animal enthusiasts to discuss the most pressing, silly, and interesting topics in the animal kingdom. I'm Dr. Scott.
And I'm Dr. Mike. And you threw me off there with that improv.
It's the seventh season. We got to mix it up.
Wow. I rolled with it though because I'm a professional.
Yes, I can see the fear and terror on your eyes. That's not the way we do this.
Like, that's not the word, Scott. But here we are, seventh season. And we've taken a little break. So if we're a little rusty, that's on us. Bear with us.
We have. You're still in the same little pool house studio that you're renting in LA.
Yeah, it's great. It only costs $4,000 a month for one bedroom.
Right.
That's each. So
Yes.
yeah, still in the same place, still doing the same things. Although, uh, pretty big news for me over since last season is
Do I know this news?
you do. I got one of my talks race approved.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, that so I am now a race approved veterinary educator.
Wow. The possibilities are endless.
Endless. So you may
Yeah.
see me out on the lecture circuit talking about communications in veterinary medicine. That's pretty big news.
It is. Well, you gave some of these talks. You did 4 hours of these talks at the Hawaii VMA last year.
Yeah, five
And I will
five
be
hours.
actually 5 hours, and I'll actually be leaving for the Hawaii VMA meeting Tuesday,
Yeah,
Wednesday
yeah,
of this next week.
yep.
So
And
yeah, I'll be headed out there. So it'll be interesting to see if they miss you this year. Now,
yeah,
the first year you're not there.
I know they probably will.
Hmm.
I'm
I'm planning on
just
hearing
how
the
much.
complaints.
Where's Dr. Mike? Why isn't he here telling us stupid
Yeah.
jokes? Well, I could go
They'll
next year to
probably be
Hawaii VMA.
sending back jokes for next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we tell the folks what our season 7 is going to be about?
Yeah, I think we should. This is pretty good. We definitely sat down and did some thinking about um, not just what's important to veterinarians, but what might also be interesting to our clients.
And really, the focus of our season 7 is going to be on the clients, right? The what is the client experience like, and what is that like for us as veterinarians, as veterinary technicians as well?
Yeah, and how can we make it better?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And even if we're doing a great job, like, because there are those of you out there who are amazing veterinarians. I know you are because I hear about you all the time when they come see me and they say, "Oh, you're not as good as my last veterinarian." So I know you're out there. There are always ways we could improve and just to start thinking about the experience from another perspective.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we have some pretty interesting topics too. I mean, there'll be some old standbys.
Hmm.
Some of our should we say old because they're still young people.
Like us, we're young.
Returning guests. Like Mike and I are the returning hosts. We're
Yeah.
not old.
Not old.
Yeah, so just like that, we'll have some returning guests.
Yeah, returning guests, and we're going to talk about, like, I'm excited about some of these, like, especially, what I'm most excited about is talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I actually signed up for a Coursera
Oh, did you?
to be prepared for that because when we have there's a couple folks that we're in discussions with about joining us to talk about artificial intelligence in veterinary medicine, which is pretty phenomenal. So I don't want to be a complete uneducated idiot
Luddite.
when a luddite. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where, I mean, it's not where it's going. It's already here. That's for sure. So that'll be interesting to talk about. And then just things about, making the client experience better or making the veterinary experience better if you're a client.
So we'll be talking about our favorite clients and
Hmm.
why they are our favorite
Yep.
clients, and some spectrum of care issues
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
What do you do when you can't afford the gold standard in care?
Oh
So
man.
really interesting discussions coming.
Yeah, that is. That's a big one that's coming up all the time. And out here we've got the writers strike and the actors strike going on. So,
Right.
it's hitting home here for sure. So,
You're starting to notice
oh, for
some of
sure.
the oh
Yeah, it's
yeah
and it's going to go on for well, the writers settled, but the actors are still on strike, SAG-AFTRA. So that's going
right
to go on for a few more months, and it's going to be tight. And poor people with
yeah
trying to pay for their pets' health.
yeah. Well, speaking of AI, it's crazy how
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of come onto the scene, and it's you know
Yep.
really is interesting. Like
Yep.
when it was factory jobs back in the 80s, and it was
Yeah.
robots,
Mm-hmm.
there was pushback, but it's really crazy when you start to think of of machines moving into
The create.
medicine and creative
Yeah.
the creative process as well.
It's 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 pretty insane what can already be done. So
Mm.
it's a big deal. So
We should probably leave these concepts for the actual podcast episode, huh?
I think so. I think we don't know enough about it right now. We
No.
promise we'll be better, and we'll have somebody on who knows more than we do, so they can
Yeah,
answer all the questions we're just sitting here posing. That's why you should listen this season.
exactly. Listen, learn along with us.
Yes,
And you know what my favorite part of season 7 is, Mike?
the drinks.
Uh, well, that's okay. Besides the drinks, do you know what my
I
favorite
don't.
part of season 7 is?
What?
It's getting to work with you for another year.
Oh, Scott. Oh, no. Who would have thought we'd be doing this for 7 seasons?
I certainly not me. So
Not me. Who would have
it's
thought
fun.
we would still be friends, 30 years later.
After all this, since we started this podcast,
Mhm.
there's been a global pandemic,
Mhm.
and veterinary medicine has changed pretty dramatically. So it was certainly an interesting time to start the podcast,
Yeah.
and I do like that. You know, now here we are. What, 5 years later? Four and
Yeah.
a half
Yep.
years later, 5 years later, and going into 7 seasons. We're starting to focus back on what our passion was all along, which is the clients.
Yeah.
We've had episodes where we talk about the patients. Certainly they play a vital role in
Mhm.
the human animal bond and all that, but really focusing on the people on the other side of the exam room table from us.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that is plenty to tease people and let them know exactly why they should be listening this season. We're not going
Yeah,
to take up a lot of time.
we shouldn't say that the young veterinary student that we selected to follow her path through vet school,
We'll be back.
she will be back, and
Yeah, Stephanie.
she was just at my house yesterday because I gave her
Oh yeah.
some nutritional joint supplements for her dog who had
Ah,
a TPLO
I
surgery.
saw that.
But at any rate, yeah, she's a third year student now. She's actually doing surgeries, and so it'll be interesting to hear, the client communication perspective and all of the things that they learn
Mm-hmm.
at Davis that we didn't have so much opportunity when we were in vet school.
I don't think really any. It was learn as you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did have a bedside manner course, and it was taught by a psychologist. And I took that, and I learned a lot about delivering bad news and using empathetic statements and things like that. But it
Brief.
wasn't for everyone. Yeah, it was just
It
an
was
elective
elective. Yeah,
class.
I took that too. I
Yeah.
do remember that. That's right, an elective. So we had an elective to learn how to talk to people, and we both took it, and we are talkers good.
That's right. We have the gift of gab,
We-
as some might say.
Some of us more than others.
But
uh,
we're excited about season 7. We're excited about our opportunities to get out in the speaking world too. Me with time management, you with virtuous humor
mhm.
and building relationships with humor. And then we've got some workshops we're working on as well
Yep.
in public speaking and also time management in for medical professionals. So
Yeah.
really interesting stuff coming down the pike.
So stay tuned, everybody, and we will see you this season on the Vets Unleashed.
Can't wait.
Thanks for joining us for drinks and a conversation about veterinary medicine and our beloved animals. The Vets Unleashed podcast is wholly owned by the Vets Unleashed LLC with excellent production by Earweevil Audio. For more information about us, head over to thevetsunleashed.com. And as always, don't take advice from people who've been drinking.